the day. She moved on with another guy and got engaged. And now
I am the Rod Pedersen Show intern here, Rachel Bishop, and you are about to see my exclusive interview with CBC Olympics host Scott Russell. In the interview, we talked all about his journey, how we got to this point in his career, and what he thinks where he thinks Olympics go from here in this COVID era. Stay tuned. How did you get from CBC Radio Charlottetown, growing up in Oshawa, to where you are now, like the face of the Olympics in Canada?
I'll tell you what, it's been a bit of a journey, hasn't it? I went to CBC after graduating from the University of Western Ontario, had a master's degree in journalism. When I went to CBC in Charlottetown, I originally covered the agricultural beat in Charlottetown for the local supper hour television show called Compass. And then what happened was Diana McDonald, who was one of the first female sportscasters in the country, was the sports anchor at CBC Charlottetown. And she left to go to TSN. And that opened up a spot at Charlottetown to be the sports anchor, which I readily went for. And I got that, covered everything from harness racing to local curling to the lobster carnival. It was fantastic. And I went from there. And what happened was I got my first network assignment at CBC to cover the Canada Winter Games in 1987 in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. And I went there to cover alpine skiing and cross-country skiing. And the Canada Games was always sort of like the training ground for CBC Network Sports. And if you proved yourself there, there was a chance you might get on with the network. And so I had a great experience in Cape Breton. And soon after that, I moved to Montreal, became the weekend sports anchor there. And that's where I started covering Hockey Night in Canada. And I was there for 5 years. And then got the job at the network full-time in 1992.
Wow.
And the rest is history.
That's crazy. So you've been working at CBC since before I was even alive. That's really cool.
Yeah.
What's kind of the differences between all those jobs and, being the in-studio host now? What would you say are the biggest challenges in terms of the adjustments or the biggest differences that you noticed?
Well, being the sideline reporter at the CFL, rinkside reporter at Hockey Night in Canada, and I went on to host the Western shows on Hockey Night in Canada. It was a great proving ground to do the job that I'm doing now, which is the studio host of the Olympic Games. And the reason for that is being on site at the field of play is a huge learning experience, and to have contact with the players and all of the athletes who compete for Canada, because I covered world championships as well, and I was at Lake Louise and called the alpine skiing there. Being on site for a big athletic event, whether it's professional or high performance, amateur, is a great learning experience, because you find out how to relate to the athletes, and you actually get the story and the lay of the land by being there. And so you can translate that when you become a studio host. You actually have credibility because you've been in the field and know what happens close to the field of play. It was a tremendous experience.
More from Scott coming up in a minute. We're going to take a quick break, though. There'll be more when you come back.
Hello, I'm Sean McNall, owner of TG Marketing. We are a promotional product company located in Regina, Saskatchewan. Originally founded by Tom G. McNall in 1985, we are now in our 35th year of business. My brother Ryan and I, along with our great staff, have carried the torch since Tom retired in 2011. For those of you who don't know what we do, we sell items with a company's logo on it, like clothing, pens, phone chargers, Bluetooth speakers. The list of products available is endless. Our products are a great form of advertising. Whether you want to give a gift to a valued client or show your appreciation to your staff, we have a friendly team that can help find the right product for your needs. The key to our success has been our customer service and our vast knowledge of products in our industry. We ask the right questions to get you in line with the proper product for the project you are working on. Stop by 1046 Winnipeg Street and view our showroom. Get some ideas for that next promotion you're working on. Let's make your business what everyone's talking about.
The Olympics is like your baby, and that's what everyone knows you as. So what is it about the Olympics that you love so much more than these other events? Or maybe you love the other events just as much, I don't know. But what is it about the Olympics that you're so passionate about?
Well, I think the thing is the Olympics are much more than a sporting event. These other events are really based around performance and sport. So whether it be NHL hockey and the Stanley Cup playoffs, it's a sporting event. Same with the Grey Cup, the CFL, or the World Championships of whatever sport you want to talk about. The Olympics is tied to something which is called the Olympic movement. There are a set of values attached to it. There's an Olympic ideal, which is to bring the world together in a time of peace to demonstrate what is humanly possible. And the Olympics are open to people of every race, faith, gender, orientation, and circumstance from every geographical region of the world. So the Olympics are a much bigger thing. They're a much more ambitious enterprise. And, I first sort of fell in love with the Olympics when I went to summer camp in Ontario, in Haliburton. And every summer we had the mini Olympics, where, the baseball diamond was all decorated with bunting, and torch-bearing runners arrived by the war canoe at the beach and lit the cauldron, which was atop the baseball diamond. And the entire camp was divided into country teams. We built embassies, and there was an opening and closing ceremony. And, it's a real, it is a spectacle. Mm-hmm. That's what I love about the Olympics. It's a spectacle. It's the greatest recurring spectacle on the face of the earth. Mm-hmm. And there is no event on the earth that is as ambitious as the Olympics and aspires to be all things to all people. And I love it because it's much more than a sporting event. It's an event which is about humanity.
The camp I went to in Muskoka did something similar. It was just with two teams, but it was like lumbermen and voyageurs. It was a similar idea. Yeah, it was really fun. We had like cheers. We had opening campfire, closing campfire. We had leaders as well. Yeah, it was really, really fun.
Yeah, well, I went to a camp called Kilkoo Camp in Haliburton, and the Olympics had been going on at Kilkoo since 1932.
Oh, wow.
And they divided the camp into 5 teams, and it was England and Canada and the United States and Russia, and before that it was South Africa and New Zealand. It was pretty cool, and to hear our director say those famous words of de Coubertin when he said the Olympics are more than about victory; they're about the struggle and the taking part. It was hugely important as I kind of evolved into what I've become today as the Olympic host.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the RP Show pre-show. Once again, I'm Rachel Bishop. Stay tuned. Main events coming up next.
Now, clear the track. Here comes Lack. Let's head down to Phoenix now.
How about that?
Goaltending is like the most important position you have, right? And that's one that you can't afford to mess up with. If I were Vancouver, of course I would re-sign my best player. Markey has just shown so much growth and like really shown that he can play like a ton of games and play at a really high level, right?
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Absolutely, it is. Clark was just asking if we're ready. I think we're ready.
Are we? I'm not sure. Are we ever?
How you doing, Moose?
I'm great.
We're as ready as we're going to be.
I'm good, yeah.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to the RP Show. Got some nice messages coming in from the folks. Hello from Border, Manitoba. Hello from sunny Alliston, Ontario. Hello from Nova Scotia. We got news to get to right off the hop. It's Canada's daytime sports talk show, and we're coming to you from the bunker out here in Western Canada. And I got to say that I got my, as you see, my Regina Red Sox bunny hug on here today. It's the first that I'm wearing it. Thank you, brats. Woo! A little warm under here.
It's a
nice day out there, too.
Oh, yeah.
It was a big bird day.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that
I didn't.
Not.
That's good.
First day that I drove the Jeep up here to the show, and loving it. But it's gonna be a warm one. It's gonna be a warm one and fun today. You heard Eddie Lack there. My wife said, "Who's Eddie Lack again?" I said, "Eddie is the very affable, very lovable former goaltender of the Vancouver Canucks, New Jersey Devils, and Calgary Flames, who now sells luxury real estate in Phoenix, Arizona." So Eddie's going to be with us, and Bob Stauffer, the Edmonton Oilers radio guy, which is funny. I jumped in my car, and I was headed back up here last night for the recovery hour, and I was listening to Bob on the postgame show, the latest Oilers win. So we're looking forward to chatting with Bob. What's up with you, Moose?
Plans. We talked about sports trip plans.
Well, that's in my quick
is
six.
It? Yeah, okay, we'll get to that.
You know what? Usurping everything here, the breaking news, if you will, is why I was alerted this morning from a friend in Toronto that, hey, our heritage minister, Lisa McLeod, has said, to paraphrase, I guess she had a media gathering this morning, the Ontario heritage minister, she says, basically, we're not even thinking about the CFL. Like, almost like, stop bothering us about the CFL. We're in the middle of a healthcare crisis here right now. And the quotes that I see are, she said, 5,000 fans a game for the 3 CFL teams in Ontario looks ambitious. I believe she said, I don't see it happening. And so I texted back my guy, and I said, but. The Edmonton team president said yesterday that August 5th is a very realistic target date. That's why they selected August the 5th. He never wrote me back. The guy, my guy. Okay. So that's the breaking news, and we'll get into that. Now, the quick 6 show topics, please, Director Jordan. Thank you. Oh, Wednesday NHL leftovers. Why did I put my phone away? These were the leftovers that I have from last night's game in the National Hockey League. Lordy, who's got 40? Oh, the Vegas Golden Knights do. How about that? Boom, beat down on the San Jose Sharks 6-0 in the Shark Tank. How about that? They're going to be a tough out, the Vegas Golden Knights, Canada's team.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Pretty proud they are. What are they, 7 or 8-0 against the Sharks this year? And they made sure to post it because, of course, you go back to that tough series, the penalties, and
they don't like each other.
San Jose winning, that series. They don't like each other, so Vegas swept them, and that's got to feel good for them.
My next one is you got to stop questioning Dave Tippett, okay? Dominic Cahoon scores in overtime for the Oil last night in Montreal. Did you see the news conference afterwards? And they said, why did you put out Cahoon instead of McDavid? And Tip just... he's going to bite right through that lip before he leaves Edmonton. It's going to be gone. And did you see his answer? Why not? Like, Oiler fans, go down and drop off your resume on Daryl Cates' desk at Rogers Place if you want to coach this team ahead of the guy that is coaching the team. Otherwise, you're going to run this guy out of town. What did I say when they hired him? I said top 3 coaches in the National Hockey League, Dave Tippett. Yeah. I said Babs was number 1. Joel Quenneville and Dave Tippett. And nobody really argued. Let him coach the damn team. They won. I can see if they lost. Why wouldn't you have McDavid out there in overtime? He's your guy. But you won the damn game. Oiler fans, woo. They're a little psycho. Who's Roy Waters? I don't know if you saw last night that Marc-Andre Fleury got another shutout last night, moving him past, I think, Roy and Roy Waters into this next level of shutouts. I'm like, who the heck? I Googled him.
Yeah, I don't know.
He was born in 1900.
Wow.
John Lynch would have seen him play, but you and I hadn't.
No chance.
Tonight is what it's all about. Tonight is LA Kings at the Colorado Avalanche for all the marbles. If the Avs win tonight, it's the President's Trophy, which, quite frankly, you can have. We'll take the Stanley Cup, but I think we being the Vegas Golden Knights,
yes.
but I think Vegas would like to get the President's Trophy. Why the hell not? Here in what year is it? 4? Why not? But that's going to be a big game to watch.
Oh yeah,
tonight. And then point 5 is our Stanley Cup playoff pool. This is unreal. I didn't have anything to do with this. You guys all put it together. So in a minute, can you tell the folks it's gone nuts in less than 24 hours of being available?
We were literally having a conversation, and Nelson Vo's like, "What do you think about doing a playoff pool?" I'm like, "It's great, but you got to put it in your calendar to talk to me about this like 2 months ago next year, so we can have some time to play." I said, "No, we'll just do it." So I'm like, okay, well, at least do something on like office pools, make it a box strip, whatever. So he went ahead, literally that day, put it together. We released it. And so we've got some great prizes available. It's free to enter. All our social media platforms have the link. I think Clark's put it in the chat here on Facebook or YouTube, wherever you may be watching. Go to our Twitter feed. The link's there for the playoff pool. And literally, you just have to pick one player in each box. You don't have to know anything. Pick one guy in each box, and you'll be entered to win some RP Show swag, some prizes, and it's free to enter, and it's going crazy. So it kind of was like a sitting around the coffee table. We should do a playoff draft. Do you think anybody will enter?
How about that? 150 plus, and teams are in already, and it hasn't even been 24 hours. So again, it's linked on our Twitter and everywhere you can find it. Thanks for playing. Point 2, holy smokes, I got to speed up here. NFL schedule released. The full schedule is out. And I do have to say this. I never even when I worked in the Western Hockey League full-time for 17 years or in the CFL for 20, I don't get the excitement of the schedule release. Because my thing was in the CFL, we got to play 18 games. We got to play 9 at home, 9 on the road against the East twice, once there, once. It doesn't really matter where you throw them up. I don't get it. But in typical NFL fashion, they've made it an event. Because they are marketing experts. If, for instance, the Denver Broncos brought Peyton Manning out to be part of their schedule launch. Yeah. Like, they always make it a big thing. And so I see, because we know the Cowboys are at Tampa. We might go to that. Chuck, can I tell people that?
Sure.
Just the two of us. And maybe some contest winners. Right?
Yeah.
That's what we're thinking there. But the sports trip, we're going to have to spend more time on this later on in the show, but maybe a VIP trip to win, to come down to watch the Bucs and the Cowboys. And by the way, people are already asking, who are you going to cheer for, Rod? You're a Brady guy. You're a Cowboys guy. I was thinking about that this morning. Tom's won enough, okay? It's the Dallas Cowboys' time. So they will be winning in week 1. Oh, and by the way, the Buccaneers are favored by 6.5.
Of course.
That's already out.
We haven't even looked at. We don't even know who's on the roster. Not a clue.
Favored by 6.5 in week 1 in September. Meanwhile, so the NFL schedule is out, and I read this interview with the Edmonton team president yesterday saying, "Well, we hope to have the schedule out in a couple of weeks. You know, it's not easy with the needs and the wants of every team." And I'm like, because the NFL's is so easy.
3 times the teams. And
It's the warm up for the Four Seasons Sports Palace. Georgie has texted me, and he says, starting Monday, come on down to catch all the NHL playoffs. Of course, believe. Four Seasons Sports Palace. 909 Arcola Avenue East. Point 3, I won't spend as much time because we've already discussed the CFL thing. But as I was watching SportsCenter this morning, as Tour de Rod hit stage 187 today, pedaling away, I'm watching SportsCenter, and there's this long expose on the NFL schedule. And it's like Brady, Belichick will meet in week 4. Newton goes into Carolina in week 9 or something with the Patriots. And I'm like, yeah, you know, CFL training camps were supposed to open this weekend. It would be nice to have some coverage on the CFL, but they're not playing. They're suspended. And it just dawned on me like a light bulb went off. They don't want to pay the money. It's going to cost too much. It's going to cost them more money in the long run to not play right now. because we're just getting bombarded with NFL, NHL, MLB, and the CFL is just so getting pushed to the back burner. It's just getting out of the conscience of the average Canadian. And that's because what we see on SportsCenter. It's not TSN's fault. What are they going to talk about in the CFL? So that was an ESPN story they carried, for the love of God. They didn't even put it together themselves. So that's my thinking, is it's going to cost them more money in the long run. But a lot of these business guys and presidents guys only look short term, short term, short term. That's how I think they're thinking. And I know you have some thoughts on that.
It costs more money, and if you want to go away and not play, then that's a risk that you're taking, a massive risk, right? We know it costs more money, right? But I don't think, what people don't realize is if you're going to go away, your customers are gone. They're not just sitting there waiting to give you their money. They're booking trips to the NFL. Yeah. They're spending money on the NHL.
Buying RVs. A new customer costs 5 times as much money as retaining a customer you already have in terms of marketing dollars and getting them into the building. And when you have existing customers, you have a 60 to 70% chance of retaining that customer. But when you don't, you have about a 5 to 10% chance of closing a new customer. So the CFL's got a really steep road ahead of them. It's not going to be cheap, but I will give them the benefit of the doubt that maybe they've done this analysis, and the extra cost that it's going to cost them to get these new customers back into the buildings, maybe that's cheaper than the money they would have lost playing. But I don't know that they've done that. You're saying it's going to cost more marketing dollars down the road than we would have had to pay to play this year, so let's just bite the bullet. That's what you're saying. So I said to him in his office before we got rolling here, I said, I don't want to surprise you with this. I'm going to bring this up in the quick six. And you're like, to get those exact numbers. Well, right?
I knew the numbers were there, but I just didn't know how high they were.
Yeah. So this is the yin and the yang of how we work together here, right? Exactly. I'm just skimming around here, zing, 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 and you're taking care of the details. Works great.
It does.
Point 4, the Blue Jays go for the sweep at the Braves. By the way, first pitch is in 8 minutes, but you're going to stay here, right?
Oh yeah.
Point 5, Duron Carter, hired by North Palm Beach Prep School to be their director of player personnel and receivers coach. I wrote about this and mentioned it on my commentary today on Cat Country and Rock 98 FM, Rock 98.5 FM. You think Duron is this wild child with a spotty past in football, and he is all of those things. But he's also highly, highly intelligent. He's a tremendous coach. And I told the story of me and Duron walking onto the field in Moosomin, Saskatchewan, home of Dave Tippett, by the way. And this story was this. Duron and I were in Moosomin for another event, and the coach of the team, Dexter Mondor, DM'd me on Twitter. He goes, my team's practicing this afternoon. Would you mind coming? And I said, yeah, but I got Duron Carter with me. Who the hell am I? Can Duron come? And he's like, you think he would? Yeah. So we went to the field, and Duron walked right onto the field. I have photos of it because nobody would believe it. And he coached every single kid at all 24 positions on the field. Then he gathered we spent the whole afternoon with him. And they gathered the whole team together, gave them this inspirational rah-rah talk. And as we were leaving, I said, how did you know how to coach like that? And he goes, I've been coaching kids my whole life at my dad, Chris's camp all over Florida. And he goes, I could coach the kicker, I can coach the quarterback, I can play every position. And then it was like less than a year later, he's picking off Bo Levi Mitchell in Friday Night Football in October of 2017 at McMahon Stadium. So that he would go coach at North Palm Beach Prep School doesn't surprise me one bit. And for those of us that do have a past, and that's why, frankly, I think Duron and I are kindred souls. He's got a lot to pass on to the kids. And when you can say, don't do what I did, kids, it's incredibly effective. It's incredibly effective as a teacher, as a coach. So I say bravo, Duron. When you saw the news, were you surprised?
A little bit. The only thing I was surprised about, because I don't know him like you do, was what was in there? Director of player personnel? Mm-hmm. That kind of office, 9 to 5, administrative, keeping everything organized type of job. Because Duron seems like the free spirit, little bit of like, I'm going to bounce around, can't sit in one place too long, right? So taking care of the details on those things I could see being a thing. But the coaching, I get it. Can play every position on the field. And then he went out and did play every position on the CFL field.
Successfully. And was player of the week on defense.
Unbelievable.
So
yeah, he'll coach, and he has a ton of value to add, for sure. He's picked up a thing or two along the way, not only from his own athletic abilities and career, but from his dad, too.
And that's why Duron and I have sat and spoke together for hours. Hours. And I'm just like, Duron, I know nobody gets you. I get you. And I think he's tweeted that, right? He's like, somebody finally gets me.
Yeah.
So good for him. He's going to be great. Jeff Stamps, he says, a mere 40 months ago, Chris Jones and Duron Carter were going to take the CFL by storm. Here we are. I immediately get defensive about that. And I don't know that he means to get defensive about that. I don't know. Chris Jones is coaching at South Pittsburgh High School. They're on the field. Duron's got a job at North Palm Beach, Florida. And you and the CFL are doing what? Oh, and Chris Bird writes in from Toronto. He says, I spoke to someone today who personally knows and spoke to Randy Ambrosie. The commissioner says the CFL will get some kind of season in this year. Talk to us when you do. And point 6 was potential Jack Eichel destinations. They're saying LA Kings, New York Rangers, Detroit Red Wings, Vegas Golden Knights, and Columbus Blue Jackets are the 5 possible destinations for Jack Eichel. We may talk with Bob Stauffer about that when we come back, but I kind of doubt it. It'll be a lot of Oilers Jets. This has been the warm-up for the Four Seasons Sports Palace, and you're watching the RP Show on Game Plus television across all 10 provinces and 31 states, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds full-service car wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Capital Ford Lincoln is your used car destination. We're overstocked and priced to move, so shop online or in-store to get the best deal on any one of our massive selection of pre-owned vehicles. Every pre-owned vehicle at Capital Ford must pass a thorough inspection, ensuring that your buying experience is quick, easy, worry-free, and just like new. So save the depreciation and buy pre-owned. Capital Ford Lincoln is your used car destination. 1201 Pasqua Street North in Regina.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. IKS Live, the proud producer of The Rod Pedersen Show and The Recovery Hour. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop staffed by PGA of Canada professionals is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Working with my family has been great. My mom and dad have taught us the importance of hard work. I've been here since I was 10 years old, and my dad has taught me a lot about quality work.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show.
Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome back to the program, everybody. Just ahead of Bob Stauffer, here's the breaking news of this morning. A second Canadian province says it has not provided verbal approval to the CFL's return to play protocols. Lisa MacLeod, Ontario's Minister of Heritage, Sport, Tourism and Culture Industries, said this morning her government has not yet provided verbal approval of the league's return to play protocols. More on that later, but I don't want to keep this guy waiting any longer. Bob Stauffer, our longtime friend, 630 Chet Edmonton, host of Oilers Now, Oilers Calgary. How you doing, Robert?
Good. I see you have a University of Calgary football helmet and a Regina Rams one there. Is that to pay homage to Darrell Leeson, who is the best Canadian-born quarterback I saw in the 20-plus years that I covered in CIS football?
No, it is a waiting for the U of A Golden Bears to send us a helmet. That's what that is.
You know what? They're not very happy with me these days. I was a little critical of their quick decision last year to eliminate their season instead of fighting to stay alive. So otherwise, I might be able, you know what? I might be able to make a call here. We'll see if Chris Morris can come through for you, okay?
Well, I would appreciate that. Let's hope that they get onto the field. Bob, the number one question that came to my mind is this when I thought of this interview this morning. Is this the best Oilers team in your time with the club?
13 years I've done color, and the answer is yes. Just to put things in perspective, right now the Oilers are 10th overall in the league, Rod, but since January 30th, and we're now talking 46 games, it's not like it's a short sample size, Edmonton has the third best winning percentage in the league. The only two teams that have a better winning percentage are Colorado and Vegas, and they're playing in a division, and this is something that, and I'm sure your fans know this, the Pacific Division this year has got three rebuilding California teams in Arizona that really fell off down the stretch. And case in point, Vegas went 21-3 against the three California teams this year. So, Colorado and Vegas are real good teams. A lot of people would suggest they're going to be one of the two Stanley Cup finalists. I think that's a fair assessment. But the Oilers, since January 30th, have had the third best winning percentage in the league. I realize they don't have the perceived depth that other teams have, but they have star power. And you know what? Sometimes star power can take you to special places, and that's what we've seen this season.
Well, fool me once, Bob. Like, I'm not sold on goaltending, and it was your Achilles heel, man. You were in a best of five with Chicago last year, as you know. You will blow one game in the playoffs. You got to win two to get it back. You could do that against Winnipeg. I wouldn't want to risk it. Like, where are you on Mike Smith and Mikko Koskinen going into the playoffs?
Well, first of all, I'd throw out the Oilers' 7-2 record against Winnipeg this season. Winnipeg's got Connor Hellebuyck, the reigning Vezina Trophy winner. I think it has to be stated that even though Mike Smith outplayed Connor Hellebuyck head-to-head this year in the matchups, logic dictates that Winnipeg's got the advantage in goal. They've got a reigning Vezina Trophy winner. So Winnipeg's going to be a tough out for the Oilers if they are indeed to win the series. I'm not one of these guys that's going to sit there and say, oh, the Oilers are going to win in 4 or 5 games. I think the series is going 6 or 7 no matter what. And I think the Mike Smith thing, the one thing I respond to that, Rod, is you know this because you know a lot of players throughout Western Canada, specifically from your time in Major Junior. There is a cycle, a life cycle that takes place for players. And all I can tell you is I go to Kelowna every year in the summer for a couple of weeks. And there are several people that work in the league there, including several former Oiler employees or owners or those sort of types of individuals. Mike Smith was in dad mode last summer. And I had an assistant general manager who was interviewed for some of the top positions in the league. He's with a really good club, like one of the best 2 or 3 teams in the league. He's going to get a GM's job here in the next year or so. And he told me when we did our pro scout evaluation last year, we threw everything in the bubble out. And his team made it to the Final Four. And that's what they said. So, Mike Smith's sitting there. He's looking after his kids with his wife. And, oh, by the way, we got to go back and you got to start hitting the ice in July to potentially play in August. He had a bad period and a half. That's what happened. And it was a best of 5, not a best of 7. The Oilers were playing a Chicago team that knew how to win. Say what you want. They still had at that stage Jonathan Toews, Patrick Kane, Duncan Keith. Those are 3 surefire Hall of Fame players. The Oilers actually had a losing record last year against Chicago. The Hawks won 2 of the 3 games. And Chicago only finished 11 points behind Edmonton in the regular season. So I was not a guy that thought the Oilers were just going to walk all over Chicago. I said Chicago was all wrong for Edmonton. I didn't expect Pittsburgh to lose to Montreal last year, but I thought the Hawks could beat the Oilers. And I'm telling you right now, because I respect what Winnipeg's got, though we're not sure if Nikolai Ehlers is going to start, Rod, I think that Winnipeg is a really good team. And I think that they're going to be they're a little light on defense. Edmonton's going to have to pound Pionk, and they're going to have to get to Josh Morrissey. Those guys are real good defensemen, but they're small. But Winnipeg's absolutely capable of beating the Oilers, and goaltending will be a significant matchup in the series.
Pausing this freight train that is Bob Stauffer to drop in a comment from a viewer. Evan Dom, who is now the marketing and branding director with the Regina Pats, and we think the world of him, says, "Hi, Bob, U of A Sports Information Director Emeritus." Evan Dom chiming in just to say hi.
Well, that's because I'm one as well from 2000 to 2008. So I worked a lot with Evan's father, Rob Dom. Alberta had a .900 winning percentage the last 5 years there. And you can see when programs are elevating. And when Rob took that program over in 94-95, the Bears missed the playoffs. And it took him a couple of years for recruiting and that sort of thing and putting in structure and process to really get Alberta back to being a preeminent program in the country. And he won 3 national titles in his 7 years. Rod, you asked me, is this the best Oilers team? I'm in year 13 with the Oilers. I did 13 years with the Golden Bears. They won 6 national championships in those 13 years, and the 3 best teams they had never won. It's a very different situation in the NHL, to say the least. But what I would say is structure and process. You brought up Buffalo. You had a texter just before I came on talking about the Sabres and where Eichel might go. The Oilers might have gotten a little bit lucky here, and I'll tell you why. 2 years ago, nobody thought Edmonton was going to be in this position right now. Bob Nicholson interviewed 12 to 14 people. You broke the story on Ken Holland coming to Edmonton. You were the guy that was the first guy to say Ken Holland's going to be the next GM of the Edmonton Oilers. Edmonton went with experience, and contrast that with Buffalo. They've gone with inexperience, and it's just been a carousel of absolute failure. And now their top guys want out. And contrast that with Edmonton, where the Oilers' top guys, McDavid, Draisaitl, and Darnell Nurse, are driving the team and thoroughly engaged. And some of that has to do with bringing in a veteran general manager in Ken Holland and a veteran head coach in Dave Tippett, who put in structure and process in the team's game. Edmonton's got the best power play in the league 2 years in a row and a top 10 PK as well.
Yeah, but I like what you said about the best team doesn't always win. I'll be thinking about that for the rest of the day. But on the goaltending thing, it was Connor Hellebuck against Cam Talbot last year. Who would have thought Talbot would win that first-round matchup in the Jets and the Flames? And you said the Jets have a good team. Well, I'm not even sure they think they have a good team, especially without Nikolai Ehlers. Bob, you watch the games. I feel like their confidence is shot, and it's getting kind of late to get it back here in time for the playoffs.
Well, they got 1 game left, right? They play the Leafs, and who knows who those teams are going to go. I'm going to concede. I think Winnipeg's got a good team. I actually thought the start of the year, because I'm not the biggest Patrick Laine fan. To me, he's a little bit disengaged, and you got to be committed to play. They went and they made a deal, and they got Dubois. And I'm like, wow, look at the strength they have down the middle between Scheifele, Dubois, and Adam Lowry, who you know well. And I thought Winnipeg would be better in the regular season, but part of it's just been the way they've closed. I mean, they've got just 2 wins in their last 11 games. I say throw it out. I'm not saying throw out Edmonton's 46-game run, but I would say throw out an 11-game run at the end of the year when Winnipeg was fairly much home and cooled in the playoffs. So I think they're going to be a tough challenge. And don't forget last year when the Jets lost that series to Calgary, they lost Mark Scheifele in the second shift of that series. And And you know what? Matthew Tkachuk was in Blake Wheeler's head opening face-off of that first game. He challenged him to a fight. And you could see the look on Wheeler's face. And the Flames physically pounded what they got in the heads of the Winnipeg Jets from the get-go. And then Tkachuk got a piece of Scheifele on the injury. And it was all downhill from Winnipeg at that point.
Okay, so from our viewers, John Ohm, watching in Winnipeg, says, love this guy. Bob, you rock. He says, go, Jets, go. He says the Jets will have to find a way to defend McDavid. From Patrolman Pete in Winnipeg, he says the Jets didn't back into the playoffs so much as they dragged their rotting carcass into the playoffs. And I say this as a Jets fan. Could you get into number 98's head? Is it possible?
To McDavid's head?
Yeah. Number 97. I'm thinking of our Connor. Bedard. Sorry. 97 McDavid, yeah.
Your Connor Bedard's pretty good. I mean, I saw Dylan Guenther play 7 regular season games with the Edmonton Oil Kings, and he got completely overshadowed in that U18 by Bedard and obviously Shane Wright. Connor McDavid, you know what? It's funny because, Rod, I know we've talked about this privately off the air. Like, we have Wayne Gretzky traveling with us. This is the first year we didn't travel for the broadcasters in the 13 years that I've done the game. Wayne's been around the team a fair amount the last 3 or 4 years. He's very gracious with his time. I've had a lot of conversations with him about Connor, about, where is Connor relative to the lexicon of stars out there. I don't think we've ever seen a guy this advanced, this fast, this skilled. The only way you can get to McDavid is if you layer him defensively. You have to take away his ice through the neutral ice area, and you got to really limit the amount of gap you give him once he does get past the first set of forwards. Or through the set of forwards. And then in terms of the defense, they can't give up too much space because he can beat you. I'll be intrigued to see how Dave Tippett deploys McDavid and Draisaitl. Do they have them each on their own line? I think that is going to be the case to start the series. But McDavid has just he's owned Winnipeg this year. He's good friends with Mark Scheifele, and for whatever reason, he elevates against Winnipeg. That's a good question by the texter. Can they handle McDavid? They didn't do it in the regular season. Playoffs are a different animal. There's fewer penalties called. That plays into Winnipeg's advantage. Edmonton's over 2.5% better than anybody else in the league on the power play this year. So the fewer penalties you take against the Oilers, the more it's going to help you because the Oilers can kill you with the extra man.
Oh, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be very exciting. Hey, can you take a stab at our poll question? Who's going to be the next coach of the New York Rangers? Our options are Gerard Gallant, John Tortorella, Mark Messier, or other, but that's literally just throwing 3 names in the air. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, from Imperial, Saskatchewan, the move they should make, they won't, but the move they should make, Chris Knoblauch. That's the guy. He's touched all the bases, right? He's coached in junior. He took Kootenay to the Memorial Cup. He lost his job in Kootenay because he wanted the University of Alberta job, and Kootenay was cheap at the time and weren't paying. He ended up in Erie. You know the story. The Oilers loaned Sherry Basson a lot of money, and Chris ended up first junior coach in major junior history, 4 straight 50-plus win seasons. He's been an NHL assistant with the Flyers. He's coached the Rangers farm team the last 2 years. That's the guy that should. And how do they play when he came up this year and replaced David Quinn? They couldn't score before he replaced Quinn. Then they beat the Flyers 9-0 in the first game. The guy breeds offensive confidence, and he doesn't screw around and play mind games with players. He is today's coach. That's the guy that they should hire.
Nice answer, Bob. And by the way, I'm not sure they lost a game when Knoblauch was coaching. For sure, they won way more than they lost. Joe Lazito's watching in New York, and he says, regarding the poll question, Jim Dolan will want the appearance of a home run and hire Messier, but in my opinion, they'd be better off with Chris Knoblauch. Clearly, Dolan doesn't listen to his people, so we'll see. But I'm with you, Bob, on Knoblauch. Listen, man, we're following very close. I was listening to you on the radio yesterday. Keep it up, man. I always enjoy our visits.
Reach out anytime. Take care.
All right, bud. Bob Stauffer, 630 Ched. Oilers color man and the host of Oilers Now. Chris Knoblauch.
Off the board.
How do we not even bring that up?
Going off the board with that one. I like it.
I'd like to blame somebody, but I'm just as bad as the rest of you.
But nobody else brought it up either. Wasn't in the New York Post suggestion of 7 of coaches that could take the spot, but makes a lot of sense.
Should we take down the poll?
We might have to.
By the way, he's from here, the rectangle. Chris Knoblauch from Imperial Sask, which I think is right in the middle of the rectangle. I'll look it up in the break.
Yeah.
Sports update. When we come back, you're watching the RP Show on a Thursday. We got breaking news this morning. We'll get to that in a moment. You're watching on Game Plus TV. YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering delivery, and the takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. Family owned and operated. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
Direct West provides us with stats and analytics, and it's amazing for us to look and see that, each year we're 10 to 20% higher on our Google leads. It's great to see the success that our locations are having. The Direct West app gives us an opportunity to be in one place for people to find any of our locations or our commodities. Without Direct West, we would have to be in multiple digital places. I would recommend Direct West. They're great to work with.
Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions is Saskatchewan's only full-service supply chain company. Strategic sourcing, PO creation, and order expediting, VMI and vending solutions, and free delivery are just a few of the supply chain services we provide. If your company needs it, Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions can get it for you. Price, quality, service, Rockstar Supply Chain Solution is helping Saskatchewan companies buy better.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Capital GMC is your used car destination. We're overstocked and priced to move, so shop online or in-store to get the best deal on any one of our massive selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. Every certified vehicle includes the balance of manufacturer's warranty, 150 plus point inspection, roadside assistance, and certified exchange privilege. So save the depreciation and buy pre-owned. Capital GMC is your used car destination at the corner of Rochdale and Pasqua in Regina.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
And Moose DuPont and the entire crew. By the way, we looked up Imperial, Saskatchewan, the home of Chris Knobloch, who might be the next coach of the New York Rangers, and indeed is right in the middle of the province on Highway 2.
Yep.
On the way up to PA from here, and you blow by. It's on the way to Humboldt if you want to go that way.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be the next coach of the New York Rangers. How did we miss that? That's why we have the experts on, like Bob Stauffer. I'll get to the, here's the news. Stuff's going crazy today. A second Canadian province says it has not provided verbal approval to the CFL's return to play. Lisa MacLeod, Ontario's heritage minister, said today her government hasn't yet provided verbal approval of the league's return to play. Last week, BC government officials offered a similar sentiment following a television report that all 6 provinces where CFL teams reside had verbally approved the league's return to play protocols. The league has since pushed back its season start to August 5th and reduced its number of games to 14. Meanwhile, CFL training camps were supposed to open this weekend. In a normal year, Jack watching in Alberta says, breaking news, Doug Ford just extended the stay-at-home order till at least June 2nd. I just don't really feel like kicking this back and forth like a football. Like somebody said, maybe we play out west and to kick off the year because of this Ontario thing. Oh, wait a minute. What did BC say? Like, it's bubble or nothing, bro. And so it's nothing. Mike Horrigan writes that and says, good afternoon from the 905 to the best sports gab fest going these days. Thank you, Mike, in the 905. That's Southern Ontario Golden Horseshoe. Want some happier news?
Always.
The Toronto Maple Leafs and Montreal Canadiens will open their first playoff series in 42 years, May 20th at Scotiabank Arena.
How about that?
How about that? The NHL released its schedule for the opening round of the 2021 playoffs today, with the All-Canadian Scotia North Division starting its series a couple of days later than its U.S. cousins. Playoff action in the All-Canadian Division kicks off next Wednesday when the Edmonton Oilers host the Winnipeg Jets. The regular season ends the same day with the last of 4 matchups between the Vancouver Canucks and the Calgary Flames. Actually, they're playing tonight in what we'd like to call a friends and family game. Only friends and family care for the It's not a joke. Vancouver needed an extension to its regular season after 11 of its games were postponed due to COVID-19, the outbreak within the team. Moving on. The Kamloops Blazers are back-to-back BC Division champions and for the first time ever recipients of the Remax Cup. The Remax Cup was created for the regular season BC Division champion of the Hub Centers, which were staged in Kamloops and Kelowna. The presentation of the Remax Cup marks the conclusion of an unprecedented campaign in the BC Division, which included rigorous protocols to ensure the health and safety of all players, staff, and officials involved. By the way, the Kamloops Blazers, Darren, went 18-4 to top the BC Division. Now, remember last year we had Mark Recchi on, one of the owners of the team. Remember how devastated he was that because they were maybe going to be a contender last year. Right. He's like, well, at least we'll be back next year to play for the Memorial. Whoops.
Yeah.
Like, what a terrible time to contend. Saskatoon Blades, Winnipeg Ice, Kamloops Blazers, Edmonton Oil Kings. Woosa. The Blue Jays continued their dominance of the Atlanta Braves following a strong night at the plate by Teoscar Hernandez. He hit 2 homers and drove in 3 runs, and Toronto beat the Braves in Atlanta 4-1. Jays improved to 5-0 against Atlanta this season. And let me check the update, because they are playing right now. 2-0 Braves. Bottom of the first inning. The Saskatchewan Rattlers, member club of the Canadian Elite Basketball League, is excited to announce the signing of import forward Jakanen Gant. Ahead of the 2021 CEBL season, this will be Gant's first season in the Canadian Elite Basketball League after spending the last 2 years playing professionally in the NBA G League and the Korean Basketball League. And Michael Bradley had a goal and an assist. Josie Altidore also scored, and Toronto FC beat the Columbus Crew 2-0 in Orlando for Coach Chris Armas' first victory with the Reds. Meanwhile, Minnesota United has earned their first win of the season. They beat the Vancouver Whitecaps 1-0. This sports update for the Tap Brewhouse and Drive-Thru Liquor Store, and for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. Jeff the Stamps fan says Rod is really trolly today. No, you're just extra upset because the Flames missed the playoffs. He's defensive. Mike Blackbird in Toronto says, I'm tired of being tired about the CFL's return to play. John Ohm in Winnipeg says, play the CFL in Texas. Texas is open for business. Who said that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Months ago? If you missed the quick 6 show topics, I said to Moose and to you people, that it would be more costly for the CFL to not play down the line. It's going to cost them more money to come back. I was talking to a guy, CFL guy in Alberta yesterday, and he goes, oh, we're going to have to rebuild our image after this. It's going to be a massive effort because we haven't played. We're out of people's mindset. It's going to cost them more long-term than if they just bit the bullet to play this year or, found a way to play, like go down to the States and play like Toronto FC's doing in some of these. That's just my thinking. Do you want to recap what you said about that for those that missed it earlier? Because I think it's a key point.
On the marketing?
Yeah. Well, the costs.
It's so expensive. So when you go away, you lose your customer base. And it can cost up to 5 times as much money to market and sell and acquire a new customer as it can to retain the customers you have. 5 times more money for new customers. And when it comes to retention, the customers you have, you're about 60 to 70% likely to retain them. New customers trying to sell them, your chances of success are about 5 to 15%. So it's really tough. You want to protect the customers you have. It's easier. It's cheaper. You've already invested into them, right? When you go away, everybody's now a new customer in the CFL. We're all new customers. So you hope that they've thought about this and that the costs of acquiring those new customers are less than the money they would have lost to play, but it might not be the case, and that's the challenge they're facing right now. It's a big challenge.
We'll take a break and come back with viewer takeover. So fired up wherever you're watching across North America on the Game Plus TV network. Shoot us a text message on the Prairie Mobile text line 306-840-8777. Prairie Mobile is your authorized SaskTel mobility dealer. Whatever you want to talk about, we'll talk about after this break. And by the way, Eddie Lack coming up in hour 2 as well, the NHL great. Target. You're watching on Game Plus TV, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Direct West has been the bridge for me from not dealing with social media or digital presence to having a presence. You have to take the leap of faith, so to say, and I'm glad we have. Direct West has helped us out immensely to get our presence online as far as digitally and also with the social media page. To see the results is just puts a smile on your face.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. IKS Live, the proud producer of The Rod Pedersen Show and The Recovery Hour. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
Welcome back. It's Viewer Takeover, and it's getting real fun. It's been fun all morning, but now is where we turn it over to our viewers in the Viewer Takeover. Sean McCormick's watching in downtown Toronto in the Game Plus studios, and he says now would be a great time to market to the younger audience, too, for the CFL with all of these stay-at-home orders. Younger people are home, and sports betting has never been bigger. On that, I'll just mention this about our Stanley Cup playoff pool. Here's the read. Starting Wednesday, which was yesterday, the RP Show will be hosting an NHL playoff boxes pool. Your entry into the pool enters you into our giveaway for an RP Show hoodie and mug. Entry is free. You don't even need to know anything about hockey to enter. Just pick one name out of each box, and you're set to go. Entry started yesterday, so keep an eye out on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for the link to enter. Nelson, there you go. Nelson, our content creator, tweeted some of the best names. Darren, you have one that you
I just was looking at the list of entries, and I'll pull up what he said. But there's a team in there called "How About That?" Like, how awesome?
How about that?
Is that we've got a team name called "How About That"? Here's some of the best names that have entered in our hockey pool. Disappointed Flames fan.
Jeff, is that you?
Habs or Habs not. I always beat producer Clark is a name. Leafs out first round. Mr. Bacon and the Baconettes.
And my favorite's coming up.
Ryan Smith's mullet.
That's the one.
And Toffoli's cannolis. Are some of the better ones. You know what? I'm going to let Nelson pick it, or we'll let somebody around here choose. I'm going to go find some sort of prize at the end of this and send it to the team with the funniest name. Whoever's got the best name, we'll pick the best. We'll each pick one. We'll do a poll one day of who has the funniest name, and we'll give them a prize.
Viewer takeover to the Prairie Moelle text line we go. From Ray in the 6, Kitchener, Ontario area. He says, Rod, the Argos, Ticats, and Red Blacks are going to have a hard time to get going in Ontario. We just found out we are in lockdown now to the second week of June. The CFL is slipping away. Our dude from Chip In checking in live from the airport in Connecticut. Give them a follow. Chip In, business partner of Nick Lewis's AO Sports. We're all over the place. From Joe Lazito, he's watching in Long Island right now. He texts us from the 516. Jim Dolan is all about the show. He's the founder and CEO of the Rangers conglomerate there in New York. He says, hiring Mark Messier will give him the back pages of the newspapers here in New York. But how does Messier teach the God-given attributes he's known for, like leadership and intensity? He can't. The Rangers have a ton of young talent, and Knobloch is the obvious choice. As an Islanders fan, I hope they hire Messier. Because think about that. It's a good point.
Leadership.
He wants them to hire Messier because he don't think it'll work.
Leadership and intensity, it's hard to get other people to take on leadership and intensity, but leadership and intensity are two things that make you a really good coach.
Yeah. Joe Lazito, yeah.
I do think the inexperience, though, could be an issue. Knobloch would be I'm kind of sold on Knobloch now.
We all are. Let's hope Jim Dolan is. By the way, Joe Lazito was telling me that as an Islanders fan, they used to make fun of Ron Duguay when he played for the Rangers. And I said, just stop it. Haters gonna hate.
Yeah.
I didn't even like the Rangers, but I love Ron Duguay.
Oh, yeah.
from DG in Saskatoon. Morning, guys. I got curious and looked a couple months ago. Liberty, Saskatchewan, located about 15 miles south of Imperial, is the center of the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. It is essentially the exact same distance from Rogers Place, Scotiabank Saddledome, Bell MTS Place. They need a sign at the edge of town. That's from DG in Saskatoon. I named this province the Bermuda Triangle of the NHL. And so I was thinking about this the other day. When the Oilers play the Jets, we could literally do this when they're flying over our heads, right? Oilers going to Winnipeg. Hi, Connor. McDavid. What? Hi, Connor Hellebuck. They're going over our heads all the time here in the Bermuda Triangle of the National Hockey League, where we live right here. But the actual center is Liberty, Saskatchewan. Did he say Liberty? Allie in Edmonton writes in, and Allie has sent some pictures of some mini sticks, old wooden mini sticks. Ooh. She says, hi, RP Show. It's Allie in Edmonton. Thanks for the WHL CFL bubble info. These are pics of classic Pat's mini sticks and autographed we have in our office. The late Doug Wickenheiser, Jari Hell, and Ron Flockhart. Thanks for keeping it real. We enjoy all the topics of discussion. By the way, Connor Bedard's going to go number 1 overall in the 2023 NHL Draft. Last two Pats to have that honor, Doug Wickenheiser and Greg Jolly. It's happened. Next hour, Eddie Lack, and more of this back and forth. The second half kickoff is coming up after this break. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus Television Network.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. IKS Live, the proud producer of The Rod Pedersen Show and The Recovery Hour. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering delivery, and the takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. Family owned and operated. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Now,
clear the track. Here comes Lack. Let's head down to Phoenix now.
How about that?
Goaltending is like the most important position you have, right? And that's one that you can't afford to mess up with. If I were Vancouver, of course I would re-sign my best player. Markey has just shown so much growth and like really shown that he can play like a ton of games and play at a really high level, right?
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome to Hour 2 of the RP Show, everybody. This is what we call the second half kickoff. Bring the noise from everybody. I just got an email from the Winnipeg Jets, Moose, and they said to say hi.
Okay.
Here's the breaking news out of the National Hockey League as we sit here in the Bermuda Triangle of the NHL. The Winnipeg Jets and the National Hockey League announcing the schedule for the first round between the Winnipeg Jets and the Edmonton Oilers. And it begins next Wednesday with Game 1 at Rogers Place in Edmonton. Game 2 Friday, Rogers Place, Edmonton. Then back to Winnipeg for 2, Sunday, May 23rd. And Monday, May 24th for Games 3 and 4, Sunday, Monday. And then back to Edmonton for Wednesday, May 26th. Anyways, you can find it. But the schedule is out on the big series that we're going to be following the closest here in the Bermuda Triangle of the NHL, because we're right between those two franchises. There is CFL news today. We were saying this before the break. It is ugly. The news that came out of the Ontario government today is ugly. The reaction, I don't even want to look at it. It's toxic. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We try to stay away from that stuff. You know, for Wayne saying we already know what the CFL won't do, play. What's this, Mike Blackbird in Toronto? Thanks, CFL, for nothing. Well, the news is this. You can take it however you want. I just clicked on the wrong. Here it is. A second Canadian province says it has not provided verbal approval to the CFL's return to play protocols. Lisa MacLeod, Ontario's heritage minister, said Thursday her government hasn't yet provided verbal approval of the league's return to play protocols. Last week, BC government officials offered a similar sentiment following a television report that all 6 provinces where CFL teams reside had verbally approved the league's return to play protocols. So TSN said that on draft night. And here's now 2 provinces saying, we never said that. And meanwhile, training camps were supposed to open, I think, this weekend, Sunday. Suspended, hoping to kick off August 5th. And Bob's your uncle. From North Battleford on the 248, writing in Prairie Mobile text line, it would be nice to know if there's going to be a training camp for the CFL dying. Oh, here he goes. Be nice to know if there's going to be a training camp for the CFL dying for football. This person writes, great show from the home of Ruben Mays. Brady writes this and says, hey, Rod, with last night's NFL regular season schedule release, specials, and the eyes and interests it drew, could you see the potential of the CFL working alongside TSN to create enough interest to hold their own CFL regular season schedule release special? No. No, I can't. Or they would have done it already. Yes.
The teams did their own work, too, and a lot of work on the schedule release to make it great. I saw the Carolina Panthers, Sam Darnold, right, the new quarterback, and they had it was like a 10-minute video on how they're going to release it. And they were going to get into the cryptocurrency. And so they created Dar coin or whatever for Sam Darnold. And the great video, they went through all of this. Meanwhile, I remember when the CFL put their release out, some teams didn't even put it on their site or tweet it or
for days.
For hours. Now, I don't know if it was days, but it was definitely hours.
Somewhere.
It was definitely hours. Some of them were days. There was no tweet. There was no Instagram post. The schedule wasn't even on their website on the day it was released.
It's too negative. I don't want to talk about it. But the answer to your question is no. I can't see a big special on TSN for the CFL schedule release. Anyways, enough. Troy in Toronto from Sober Athletic Wear says, I can't wait for the NHL playoffs. It's going to be a wild ride. We're under 24 hours since we launched our Stanley Cup playoff pool with the Rod Pedersen Show. We're over 170 entries already. And this is starting to get a little push. Bob Stauffer, Oilers radio man, saying last hour that he's given the Winnipeg Jets the edge in goal. Well, who wouldn't? But come on. And I don't know that you're going to put Mike Smith's numbers this year up against Connor Hellebuck's numbers this year, because I think Mike Smith's numbers are way better. Who's the better goalie? Still Connor Hellebuck, right?
Yeah.
But, I'm hearing from the NHL guys that Mike Smith trained better this offseason. I think Bob alluded to that last hour, that he's a different goalie than he was a year ago. But can I just say this? Last year, I know everybody's perked up in Winnipeg as we're going to talk about this series. Last year, I gave the check mark in the Winnipeg-Calgary series this. Forwards, Winnipeg. Goaltending, Winnipeg. Coaching, Winnipeg. The only check mark Calgary got was the blue line.
Right.
And they won it in 4. Calgary won it in 4. Cam Talbot out goaltended Hellebuck. You heard Bob say Tkachuk got in all the Jets' heads. It's a thing. You understand? It's a thing. That's what makes Matthew Tkachuk so valuable. Might be the only thing, but it won him a series. So we can sit and check this off. We got a week, Darren.
Oh, yeah.
To talk about that series and who checks the boxes in every series.
Yep.
But I don't think people should go piling on Bob for saying that Winnipeg will have the edge in goal, because they probably do, and it probably won't even matter. The playoffs are a different season.
But anybody can get on a heater, and you don't know really what's going to happen. You'd like to think over the course of a 7-game series, things play out the way they're supposed to. But, hey, Mike Smith is a really capable goaltender. Connor Hellebuck might be the best in the league when he's at his best. He hasn't been at his best this season. Is that best too far in the rearview mirror? We'll find out. He can put it together. And can they find a way to shut down Connor McDavid? I don't think you can. But can you slow him down enough where he can't contribute enough to win a series on his own? Because that's what the Oilers are going to ask. They're going to ask Draisaitl, and they're going to ask Connor McDavid to win that series. And they're very capable of doing it. Can the Jets slow him down? I don't know. We'll see.
James in Borden, Manitoba is watching, and he says, Scheifele was hurt, our best player. Line A also. I know, I watched every game, and if candy and nuts were ifs and buts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas.
That's right.
Right? Sorry, I got hung up there for a second. Didn't I say I was going to say something offensive in the break, and then I never did? What the hell was I going to say? Anyways, I don't care that they were hurt. You don't have Ehlers now, so why even play the series? Like, I get that's why you lost the series. And by the way, who knocked Scheifele out? You know who. Matthew Tkachuk.
Right.
I'm not saying they should run Connor McDavid, but I'm saying they should run Connor McDavid. Bob just said it. There's not as many penalties in the playoffs.
2 minutes, well worth it.
They don't have a Matthew Tkachuk on the Winnipeg Jets. They don't have one. If this ends up in a track meet, it is over fast. And the Jets are a fast team.
Well, and that's today's NHL. You've got 3 media timeouts per period that are all 2.5 minutes each, right? You've got intermissions. Like Connor and Leon can play and be on the ice for half the game. And if you put them on different lines, you're either playing against Connor or Leon.
Yeah, I don't think you can put best on best in the McDavid situation. I don't think you should.
No.
They will.
Have to, because he's going to be on the ice so much that if you want to put Scheifele in and get your best guys out, you're going to have to put him out against McDavid.
Well, you got to do it smart. Drew Koser's writing in from Koser Skills and Development and the Off the Hosel podcast. He says, Team Iceland, 2 minutes, well worth it. Well, the thing is, if you're going to give him the business, you better do it very covertly. Because on the power play, it's like it's over. Mm-hmm. You know, the other night when I had said the Flames had found out a way to defend Connor McDavid, that was on the Hockey Night in Canada game that he skated through the whole team. Do you remember that? And people were running, they figured him out, did they, Rod? I'm like, hey, it was 4-on-5. The Oilers run the power play. And I know nobody says 4-on-5, but everybody else is making up hockey terms, so why can't I? A low event period, a net front presence, a zone entry. What the hell are these things? I'm gonna invent my own, a 4-on-5. It's very tough to defend Connor McDavid 5-on-5, let alone 4-on-5. So don't come at me.
How about that?
How about that? And if you watched that goal, the Flames were like literal pylons. They looked like pylons. You have to move your feet. And you to this day, people just get caught watching Connor McDavid on the ice. You see it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how you stop this guy. And can one guy beat the Winnipeg Jets? My God, I would hope not.
If there's one guy that can, we know who it is, right? It is McDavid. They have to find a way. They have to, you cannot have the mentality, he's just one player. We have to play as a team. He's just one player. No. He is the player. You have to have that mentality that we'll take our chances stacking up man against man on the rest of the roster. Let's put one or two guys on him and let's make sure we shut him down. You have to.
You absolutely
have to.
But you probably won't. Right? But that's the thing. This is not the 80s Oilers. And I really encourage you to go back last hour because Bob actually covered it all. For a guy that works for a team, he was pretty revealing or whatever, non-biased, right? He's like, the Oilers may not have the depth. It's two guys. I think Winnipeg can beat them. I do. But I'm concerned Winnipeg doesn't think they can beat them.
Even if those guys each score in every game, but you limit them to 1 goal each a game.
You have a chance.
You've got a chance.
Not 4 points. This is funny. James in Manitoba says, the Jets need a Tom Wilson. Cross-check McMuffin right out of the barn. Yeah, but last week, we wanted to roast Tom Wilson on a spit. And now everybody wants him. But it's true. He's right. The Jets don't have one of those guys. Well, they did. Buff might have had a chance to do something against this guy. And where's he last been seen?
I know. You need the gong and the Undertaker music, and he needs to walk out of the tunnel at the 11th hour.
Wouldn't that be nice?
That'd be great.
Having lunch at Earl's Polo Park. How about that? From John Kirby. Says, Bob works for the Oilers. He better be careful what he says about the team. Yeah, I'm aware. That's why I'm saying I was stunned he was as forthright as he was. John in Winnipeg says, put Adam Lowry on McDavid. And he says, I really miss Buff. Yeah, Lowry would have a chance. Oh, Chris Bird in Toronto says, meanwhile, the Leafs will be playing the Habs next week. Any thoughts? Leafs in 5. Hashtag, how about that?
How about that?
Because God knows we're not going to get enough coverage of the Leafs and Habs in this country in the last week or next week. You saw Craig Button say, sweep. Now we can't go home. He's from Montreal.
It's that's super interesting because, even though we're going to get a lot of the coverage, I'm sitting there being like, we should be talking Leafs and Habs because it's the Leafs and Habs. Hasn't happened since the late 70s, right? It's been so long in the most iconic rivalry in sports, but I'm a Leafs fan, and I'm like, doesn't really tickle me as a big rivalry series because for me, and I believe anybody my age and younger especially, the Habs aren't the Leafs' top rival at all, right? Because of recent history. So it's not the same, but here's hoping it will be. And we can get back to that because I think it'll be incredibly exciting, but it just doesn't have the same feel as it probably did in the 70s.
How would you know? You weren't alive, right? So
exactly.
Whatever. This is going to be. It was awesome then. And the Habs rolled.
Clearly.
They rolled. But, yeah, Toronto's going to win, obviously, Chris. What do you say, Leafs in 5?
Yeah.
And if Price isn't back, it's not. They might win it in 3. But we'll see what Corey Perry does. We'll see if Josh Anderson shows up. I don't think Montreal's as bad as everybody's saying.
No, I don't
Still got
either.
Jeff Petrie, still got Shea Weber. 5, though. That's the thing, right? Everybody, longest it'll go is 5. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to go through these comments here from the viewers. From Jeff in Winnipeg. Man, I wish Rick Rippon was still around. That's the grit the Jets needed. Sad story there with Rick Rippon, but we love him. Think about him often. When I talked about the toxicity of what's going on with the CFL announcement with the Ontario government, here's an example. So the lady, the Heritage Minister, Lisa MacLeod, says that basically they're not even thinking about the CFL in Ontario. They're not even thinking about it. Stop bothering me with this. And she said, what'd she say? 5,000 fans would be optimistic? That was the term? She goes, I can't see it happening in August. Guy here, Tom Bauer, says, how does that make any sense or based on any science? These stadiums fit 30,000 people. Zero logic to not being able to have 5,000 fans and spreading them out. Guys, when are you going to realize you're not winning? Stop arguing with the government. Stop. I realized I was told, stop. It was right around Christmas time over coffee in the Southland Mall food court. Shut up. How about that?
Look,
you're not winning. And the more that you question the government, it's not going to end well for you.
That's right.
So for the rest of you that are saying, this girl's nuts, what's she talking about? She's the Heritage Minister for the Ontario provincial government. And I'm pretty sure that you're not going to talk her out of where she stands on the CFL return to play. I'm pretty sure about that. But you can keep tweeting her. Eddie Lack next. Clear the track. Here comes Lack. We're going to the Valley of the Sun. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV Network, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Introducing Original 16 Hard Seltzer. The refreshing taste of lemon and Saskatoon berry with vodka made in Saskatchewan. New hard seltzers from Original 16.
Capital Ford Lincoln is Truck Nation. Looking to buy your next truck or sell your current one? Capital is Canada's truck destination. Shop online or in-store to see the new 2021 Ford F-150, Ranger, Escape, and more. Right now is the best time to lease or finance a new vehicle. Can't find exactly what you're looking for? Let us help by sourcing your vehicle from our dealer network or custom ordering one that is perfect for you. Capital Ford Lincoln is Truck Nation, 1201 Pasqua Street North in Regina.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003. There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Our parents always taught us about the importance of quality of work and friendly service. And here at Suds Car Wash, we're a family-run business, so it's really important that our customers feel like family.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Oh, yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome back to the RP Show, everybody. Big day around here. Stanley Cup playoff series schedules announced. Jets Oilers get going next Wednesday, game 1 in Edmonton. And what was Leafs Habs Friday, right? Next Friday? In Toronto? Doesn't matter.
Thursday.
We got a week to think about it. Eddie Lack played 143 games in the National Hockey League with the Vancouver Canucks, Calgary Flames, and New Jersey Devils. He's a very popular guy and an even better person. And he joins us today from the Valley of the Sun, where he now handles luxury real estate. Eddie joining us to talk some NHL. How you doing, Eddie?
Good. How are you, buddy?
Very well. How are things in the Valley today?
They're good. Yeah, I've been at a few showings this morning now, and it's one of my friend's birthdays. So we're gonna take him out on a little bit of brunch. So yeah, it's good. It's getting hot.
Sounds like a great day. Eddie, before we jump into these playoff things and stuff, I'm looking you up here. And you played for you played in Lexans, where they'd had the World Juniors. Your hometown, North LJ? Am I saying that right? Tell me about your hometown.
So my hometown is about an hour north of Stockholm. I lived there. It's on the water. I lived there from I was born up until I was 13, and then I just had to kind of move to play hockey on a higher level, right? So, but it's beautiful in the summer. It's just Sweden in general is just very, very dark in the winter.
Well, that's what I hear. And just like Canada, though, eh, Moose? You got to move to the bigger center to play. But I never ever told you that Rikard Gronberg, who you would know quite well, coached the national teams there in Sweden, best man at my brother's wedding. It's a long story we won't get into, but we're big fans of the Swedes in our family. So I'll start here.
Did he get drunk too, or what?
we won't. It was another time, 2006. Eddie, with the Coyotes missing the playoffs and Tocchet leaving, I just want to start with the city that you're in, the market that you're in. I mean, they were close. Did you think they were going to make the playoffs, and did the Tocchet leaving surprise you at all?
No and no. I kind of had a feeling that he was going to leave. If I had a guess, he's probably going to Seattle, where his old teammate is the GM, right? So I thought that I had a feeling that he was going to leave, yes. And I kind of thought that the Coyotes were like good enough to be close, but not good enough to make it.
Hey, they're going nuts in Winnipeg all of a sudden. They're going nuts. And Manitoba. James in Border, Manitoba says, I still have my Eddie Lack Moose jersey. From John in Winnipeg, he's got Eddie in all caps. Hey, here's one for you. We were talking about this goaltending matchup of Connor Hellebuyck versus Mike Smith. And the Oilers broadcaster gave Hellebuyck the check mark, the advantage in that series. What do you think about the breakdown of Smith versus Hellebuyck in round one? And it'll come down to more than that, but what are you thinking?
So I play with Smitty, and I worked out a lot with Helly in the summers in Kelowna as well. So they're two friends. I think that playoff Smitty is like another level. Like he always finds this extra gear to step it up in the playoffs, right? But I am gonna have to go with Helly just on like recent years and everything. Like the last 3-4 years, it's probably him and Vasilevsky that's been like the two top goalies in the league, right? So I'm gonna have to give Helly the check mark there.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it pains you to do it. We'll all be watching to see how this all plays out. You know, as we sit and talk about goaltenders, I'm a huge Marc-Andre Fleury fan. I told you I'm a Golden Knights fan. Yeah. People are, and look what he's doing. He's shattering records like crazy. Another shutout last night. Will he even touch Vasilevsky for the Vezina Trophy, do you think, or is it Andre's going away?
I think that Vasilevsky is going to win it. I think that Fleury should be the runner-up, though. I mean, what a season he's having and everything. I mean, both of those guys are playing in front of really good teams as well, right? But I think that Vasilevsky is just on like another level. Like the way that he plays the game and like the way that he moves his body is just like, it's kind of out of this world.
Man, it's funny you say that. Playing on good teams kind of makes a difference on your stats, doesn't it? now that I think about it. But Marc-Andre Fleury's got his 3 Stanley Cup rings. Vasilevsky has it. They're both great. And like you say, they are on great teams. But I think you and I would agree, those guys make those teams great too, right? And who knows if it'll be a Tampa Bay, Vegas Stanley Cup. But something just jogged in my mind, Eddie. Vancouver's playing Calgary tonight. Do you remember when the season opened and it was Markstrom versus the Canucks and you were just all worked up because you didn't know who to cheer for? You probably didn't think they would both miss the playoffs.
No, I did not. And I'm still shocked about it. I mean, yeah, the only one of my former teams that are making the playoffs is the Hurricanes, which are looking fantastic too. But yeah, Vancouver, Calgary, Jersey, all missing the playoffs is very disappointing because I was kind of hoping for all my four former teams to make the playoffs.
Well, do you think Markstrom will see the end of his contract in Calgary? I think he's got 5 more years left. Is he there for that long, do you think?
Don't start with me already, Rod.
Why? Why? You're like, you don't want to answer.
Markstrom will see contract out. He is going to be successful there. I think that looking back at this season for him, I still think that he had a good season. There was times there where he still played like what looks like he played a little bit hurt, but I still think that that he had a good season. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with Calgary and everything now, because I kind of feel like they can't keep going on this path that they are now, where like they're not making the playoffs or they're just making the playoffs and first round exit, or right. So I think that they're gonna have to do something, and it's gonna be interesting seeing what it's gonna be.
Dude, I wasn't saying he didn't play well. I'm a goalie guy. I watched the games. And by the way, he's got 5 years left. Daryl Sutter has 2 years left on this contract that he just signed. And I believe that Sutter and Markstrom will be left standing. They might be the only guys left that are left standing with the Calgary Flames. Listen, I know what's going on, Eddie. I'm just asking if you think Jacob Markstrom's going to be around long enough, if he wants to be around long enough. Because we know he's a good enough goalie. Financially, they signed him for that money and that long for a reason. And like I don't believe that he's the problem with the Calgary Flames. Believe me. But I triggered you there a little bit.
Well, maybe it's my old goalie feelings and everything that get hurt. But there's so many people that are so quick to blame the I just get triggered. So no, I think that he's gonna stay the rest of his contract there, and I mean, we'll see what happens. But they gotta find a way to become competitive again.
This is hilarious. No, listen. I'm in the union, and I'm with you. And I think the goalies should be the highest paid players on the team because they are the most important. That's a topic for another time. But you mentioned the Carolina. Yeah, well, of course. They're like quarterbacks, but I'm not going down that road. Carolina, you mentioned Carolina and Rod Brindamore, who played junior 20 miles down the road from where we're sitting right now, is in the last year of his contract, I guess. How far do you see Carolina going this year? And every time I watch them play, James Reimer's in goal. Like, James been around a while. What do you think of this Carolina team, and are they legitimate Stanley Cup favorites?
I don't think they're favorites, but I think they're contenders for sure. I mean, I think that these last few years of just like getting in the playoffs and getting the experience and everything is going to be really valuable to them. And they definitely have the team for it. And like they for sure got the coach, right? So I think that they legit have a shot at it now.
Well, it's going to be fun to watch, and it opens up next week. There's more comments coming in from Winnipeg. Here's one. Loved you on the Moose, Eddie. This is from Lunt23, watching on YouTube. Why was it so special there in Winnipeg? What was the deal that they loved you so much and you loved it there so much?
I don't know, but it was my first year in North America, and I was just like so happy that I went to a team like the Moose first, because like obviously they didn't have a team or anything then, but they just really knew how to take care of their players and everything, and like that's something that I really appreciated, and with it not being an NHL team, then we had great fans in the stands and everything too, and I think I had a pretty decent year. So yeah, it was just fun times and good memories from Winnipeg.
Well, that's awesome. You always want to be remembered well, so congratulations on that. Eddie, we'll let you go. I know that you're a busy guy, but fun chat is always, my friend. Enjoy the playoffs, and hopefully we can chat here throughout the spring.
Let's do it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, buddy. The great Eddie Lack joining us from the Valley of the Sun, Phoenix, Arizona. See how I got him down real quick.
Off the ledge.
Triggered him.
Stop it,
Whoa.
Rod.
He says, don't start.
Yeah.
That was great.
It was awesome.
People giving us a Dustin Bufflin update here on Twitter. Hang on. I guess we're not eligible yet for a break yet. Tacona Powley watching on YouTube says, Eddie for goalie union president. If there was a goaltenders union, which there's an unofficial one right now, but if there was an official one, who should be the president? I would say Patrick Waugh. Do you have a thought on that?
Yeah. You look at those guys, Waugh, Bruder, put one of those guys in charge. They can pretty much handle it.
Yeah. Oh, Bruder is something. I'll tell you a story about him sometime. All the Winnipeggers are chiming in now. From Jay Cassian, says, losing that Flame series last year got us the Perfetti draft pick. Man, I got to go back and think about that. He's talking about conditional placement, conditional picks, and where they went with Cole Perfetti, which has Canada named its roster for the Worlds? Is that how we knew that Cole Perfetti is going to play for Canada at the Worlds? That was yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I was going to say, how do we remember that? I don't know. Seth Jarvis lit it up in Portland this year. I guess you can't go wrong with either one. I'm going to read a sports update here before we break. if that's all cool with you. After being canceled last season, the PGA Tour's AT&T Byron Nelson Classic returns today at a second relocated course since 2018. The TPC Craig Ranch course is in McKinney, Texas, about 45 kilometers north of Dallas. It's the 10th venue in the history of a tournament that dates back to 1944. Today is day one. The Blue Jays will complete their 11-day, 10-game road trip today in Atlanta when righty Ross Stripling faces Braves righty Charlie Morton. Do we have an update on that one? 2-1 Braves, bottom of the fourth inning. Calgary Flames host the Vancouver Canucks tonight in one of 3 NHL games. The game is more for pride than anything else, with both teams officially eliminated from the playoffs. The big game is at Ball Arena in Denver. Avalanche, LA Kings. Avs win it, they clinch the President's Trophy. The Raptors have 3 games to go before ending a disappointing season, with the first going tonight in Chicago. Toronto coach Nick Nurse is already focused on evaluating his team for next season after failing to qualify for the playoffs for the first time since 2013. This sports update for debnetwork.ca, your number one source for Western Hockey League breaking news and analysis with the best team of writers across Western Canada and the Pacific Northwest. Visit today, dubnetwork.ca. Speaking of, Glenn Erickson from Dub Network wrote in with a question earlier. Do you remember seeing it?
No, I missed it.
We're going to turn it over to viewer takeover after this break, but if you can remember what you asked, Glenn, I'd like to answer that question. I just can't remember what it was. It's something to do with Messier, I think. And also brought to you by Ben Cahoon's G2G protein bars, now with 8 amazing flavors, including the new almond mocha. RP Show viewers get 20% off with the promo code RP Show. Order yours now at g2gbars.ca. We'll return in a flash. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV network across all 10 provinces in 31 states. Live daily on YouTube and Facebook, and 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Capital Ford Lincoln is your used car destination. We're overstocked and priced to move, so shop online or in-store to get the best deal on any one of our massive selection of pre-owned vehicles. Every pre-owned vehicle at Capital Ford must pass a thorough inspection, ensuring that your buying experience is quick, easy, worry-free, and just like new. So save the depreciation and buy pre-owned. Capital Ford Lincoln is your used car destination. 1201 Pasqua Street North in Regina.
Introducing Original 16 Hard Seltzer. The refreshing taste of delicious peach with vodka made in Saskatchewan. New hard seltzers from Original 16.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Direct West has been the bridge for me from not dealing with social media or digital presence to having a presence. You have to take the leap of faith, so to say, and I'm glad we have. Direct West has helped us out immensely to get our presence online as far as digitally and also with the social media page. To see the results is just puts a smile on your face.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Working with my family has been great. My mom and dad have taught us the importance of hard work. I've been here since I was 10 years old, and my dad has taught me a lot about quality work.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Laid back and kicking it, let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
Hey, welcome back. Lot to get to. What?
Woke me up.
Oh, did I? I'm sorry. I'll be thinking about that Eddie Lack for a long time. Don't start! That was funny.
Scolded you, yeah.
Eddie scolded me, but he had it wrong, see?
I'm glad you were, yeah.
I immediately disarmed him. By the way, on this Ontario news today, Arash Madani, boy, he is the king of sarcasm, isn't he? Arash. He says, emerging from hiding, Premier, or is it King Doug Ford, just said there will not be big sporting events or concerts in Ontario this summer. And to piggyback on what we said earlier in the second hour kickoff, I'm seeing what people are saying about the minister, Lisa MacLeod, on Twitter, and I'm sure you're not hurting her feelings, but they're calling her dumb. They're saying, what does she know about science? I'm standing back going, when are you going to realize that no amount of name calling is going to change the situation where, because you hurt her feelings, are going to allow the CFL to kick off? And these aren't obviously CFL people. These are fans that are tweeting at the government. I'm like, you're just embarrassing yourself. It's bad.
Yeah.
I said a lot of the comments that were coming in here today, I don't even want to read because they're just so toxic. Like what? People have been misled, I believe, in a lot of ways by a lot of different people. And now they're starting to find out that they've been misled. And they don't know who to attack with the pitchforks and the flames.
They don't know who to attack. And when you run out of real credible arguments and you're at a position of a disadvantage and you've run out of, and you're losing that battle, that's when we resort to name calling, right?
Exactly.
But Rod,
smart.
But you're stupid.
Oh, I know. Rod, you only care about yourself. Oh, wait. That wasn't from a fan.
Yeah, that was different. But I get it. At the same time, they don't realize, we realize that they're actually emotionally, that they're hurting because they want their sports back. And I can't blame people for that. But the name, it's not going to change anything by calling somebody a name. And, us on Twitter don't have more experience or expertise to make the decision than the people in those positions. We just don't, unfortunately. That's what's tough.
The Honorable Lisa MacLeod's a big stupid head. That's going to make her change her mind.
I'm sorry, I forgot to give you the job.
It's a bad look. It's a bad look. Hey, regarding the Edmonton team name is going to be coming out. I was told June 1st. The football team from the anonymous texter writing from the 751, laughing, if it's the Edmonton Elk, something that gets hunted, gutted, and ground into sausage each fall season. Well, there's that. But I still like the Elk.
Hey, if I'm the Riders, the Bombers, the Stamps, the Lions, that's absolutely the marketing campaign I'm going with when we're playing Edmonton. We're going to do this again. If I'm the Lions, who's the prey and who's the predator in that situation?
Well, there'll be some great memes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still thinking about that train station meme yesterday. It's going to happen. Some great questions here. Some great questions here. Chris Bird and comments. Chris Bird in Toronto says, like him or hate him, King Ford has no choice but to maintain this stance until we get vaccinated and the numbers drop below 1,000 a day. I think the folks that are watching this show watch this show because they get entertained, they get informed, and I think they believe that I'm connected. From a health professional who told me the politicians are only doing what the health people tell them. That's it. They're making all their decisions based on the health people. And this is where Arash and I would disagree on this. I think people are being very hard on Doug Ford because he's just doing what the doctors are telling him to do. He's got the business people yelling at him over here, not to mention the sports people and everybody else. But I don't want to get into a holy war. So I kind of basically shut up about all of that. From Troy, can you put up the comment from Sober Athletic Wear? I'm not sure if I can find it on my own. We will close this segment on the NFL trip. Now that the full NFL schedule is released, where is the RP Show road trip? Or is that still top secret info? It says top secret as our morning meeting. We talked to the travel agent this morning. I walked in on it. You were on the Zoom with her.
That's right. So
maybe you should handle this on where we're... Because I literally don't care. Right? I've got places I'd like to go, but it's all a win.
So we, in our morning meeting, I'll tell you what we did. We put out 4 or 5 destinations, and I'll tell you this. I looked at the schedule, weeks 10, 11, 12, 13. We usually go first week of December, somewhere in there. Now we're open to whatever. I mean,
yep.
We usually wait till the Grey Cup's done. Now that might be in December. I don't know.
Yeah, we used to have to wait till the Grey Cup's done. Now we don't have to.
Now we don't have to.
We still like to make it a warm trip, though.
That was it. So when we were looking at those weeks, we're only looking at the warm destinations. So you're looking at Jacksonville, Miami, Tampa, Houston and Dallas, and then California, right? And Arizona and Vegas. We crossed Vegas out. It's the first year with really with fans. We were going to wait a year. Those tickets are going to be hard to get.
Vegas is always going to be there.
That'll always be there. Maybe Phoenix, but likely Florida or California. We were just in Houston, so we're not going to go right back. So that's where we are. Now our travel agent's putting out the lines in the water to check on tickets and see what we're going to be able to do and see what relationships are interested there. And then what we'll probably do is we'll put out a vote to the fans, which game would you like to see, and we'll make our decision in the next, number of weeks here.
We had the viewers vote last year, and it ended up being canceled, right?
That's right.
And it was going to be Miami. It was going to be Miami, right? Stacy Champagne writes in. Stacy comments a lot regarding the team name of the Edmonton franchise. He says, "My dog says the Redmonton Reskimos." Ruh-roh. He had one earlier, Stacy Champagne. What was his? Something that I said.
Cole Perfetti. Mom Spaghetti.
Cole Perfetti. Mom Spaghetti.
Yes.
How about that?
From Jack Fulton, he says, "Boys, it is what it is. I'm watching my boys play Philly or Green Bay." Well, both of those places are cold. We'll go to Dallas. If we could go to Dallas.
We could.
America's team.
We were, I know it's not Houston.
Go down and see Jarrah.
Couple things. If you're going to come, you're probably going to need to be vaccinated. So if you need a reason to get down to the vaccination line, that's a great reason. This is kind of the reward. So that's one thing to consider. When you started doing these trips back when you were on local radio,
2011,
it was only people in the area that came because that's all your audience was.
Yep.
So yeah, we'd all get on a plane. It'd be great. Now I anticipate most of our people on this trip buying the land package. So Ryan in New York, there'll be a land package. You worry about your own flights. And then the land package will include all the details when you get there. So it'll be a lot of that available.
We'll continue this after the break. Jeff Cabillas in Winnipeg says, "If you go to Arizona, I will sell my soul and one of my dogs to go." Is that a promise?
How about that?
I've hosted 2 trips to Arizona, and each one's been amazing, and I would go a third time. We'll be right back with Overtime. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV Network and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine.
Direct West provides us with stats and analytics, and it's amazing for us to look and see that, each year we're 10 to 20% higher on our Google leads. It's great to see the success that our locations are having. The Direct West app gives us an opportunity to be in one place for people to find any of our locations or our commodities. Without Direct West, we would have to be in multiple digital places. I would recommend Direct West. They're great to work with.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Capital Ford Lincoln is Truck Nation. Looking to buy your next truck or sell your current one? Capital is Canada's truck destination. Shop online or in-store to see the new 2021 Ford F-150, Ranger, Escape, and more. Right now is the best time to lease or finance a new vehicle. Can't find exactly what you're looking for? Let us help by sourcing your vehicle from our dealer network or custom ordering one that is perfect for you. Capital Ford Lincoln is Truck Nation, 1201 Pasqua Street North in Regina.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. The comments are going nuts about our NFL sports trip destination and comments from everywhere. I want to read this news release here from my good friends at the Regina Red Sox, who dropped off a bunch of gear for the crew around here. The Regina Red Sox proud to announce our 2021 virtual gala presented by Park Avenue Builders, taking place June 17th. Our guest speaker, sponsored by Century 21, is Cody Fajardo, quarterback of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Derek Taylor of the Sports Cage, great guy, will be conducting the interview with Cody, as well as chatting with Caleb Dahlgren, author of Crossroads, ambassador for the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, and a survivor of the Humboldt Broncos bus crash. I'll just stop there. Go to ReginaRedSox.com for information on how to buy tickets and be a part of that virtual fundraiser. To our sports trip, oh boy, have I got stories for you. Sober athletic wear in Toronto. Troy says, I've never been on a sober road trip. I need Rod as a chaperone. He can be my accountability partner. Hang on. Miami 2015. You remember Marcel?
Yes.
He's like tugging on my jacket. Rod, can we go to a strip club? Rod, can we go to a strip club? I'm like, not even a year sober. And I'm like, Marcel, I'm responsible now. And he goes, we can still be responsible at a strip club? Couldn't you just see his face? I'm like, no, I didn't go. My mind is racing.
Those photos I have of him at the steakhouse in Nashville, just quintessential Marcel.
Maybe we'll show it up tomorrow. Well, as Troy says, we all have stories, buddy. No, I know, but yeah. I'm just thinking about Dallas strolling past the front desk at 7:30 a.m. and the manager of the hotel, who was a dead ringer, Troy Aikman, heard you boys all had some fun last night. Got thrown out of Cowboys. I'm like, how did you know? That just happened like 4 hours ago. He's like, this is my town. He goes, now you know how to act down here. Watch your mouth. Then he goes, you like Cowboys? I said, greatest place on earth. He goes, then you'd love Billy Bob's. And tonight they got live bull riding. I said, you mean like a mechanical bull? And he goes, no. Real bulls, 9 p.m., Billy Bob's, Fort Worth. How do you think that ended up? Anyways,
put your money away.
Are we scaring people?
Get ready for the sports trip.
Wayne in BC says, I vote for any Florida destination. John in Winnipeg says, a round of golf with this NFL trip? You can do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Nassau last year. That was an add-on, and we were in Houston. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Actually, we were planning a golf trip on the Miami trip, and it got canceled. We were planning a golf tournament for the Miami trip, right?
Yeah.
COVID got in the way of that.
So that'll be an add-on too, likely. There'll be different add-ons. It'll be, again, likely early December, and you'll probably need your vaccine. So make sure you got it.
Get your vaccine passport.
Yeah.
Sean McCormick, who's in downtown Toronto at the Game Plus studio, says, I might need to get a Game Plus contingent involved in this road trip and have a crossover party.
Call me, Sean.
Well, you guys got to be on the on-site technicians, don't they? Don't they have to be there? And by the way, the stuff that happened doesn't happen anymore. At least not with me.
Oh,
a million stories.
Still happens, just not with you.
Yeah, and by the way, that's best. That's best for everybody. But we went on a tour of the Everglades in Florida, and they're like, keep your arms inside the boat because the alligators will bite your arm off. Not me. Oh, I got great photos of that too. Adam Stewart, are these trips a weekend? Well, we talked about that too.
About 5 days typically, 5 nights.
5 nights, 6 days. Yeah.
Might go a little longer. Depends on, where you go. Sometimes we've been able to catch 2 games. You try and catch football for sure, hockey, maybe basketball, depending on the market we're in. It's probably going to be in that 5 to 7 days.
A way to end this, David Anthony writing on Twitter regarding Ontario's announcement today. They haven't even thought about the CFL's return to play, but they can't see it happening for August 5th. David Anthony writes, Lisa McLeod was the moron who offered up the idea of having a non-contact OHL season. She was just trying to get you to play because they didn't play. Now you're going to call her a moron? I told you somebody called her a dummy. I sure hope these politicians have a thick skin and just realize that people are saying things out of anger and angst. I didn't expect anything but what we heard today. But when you get people's hopes up, this is what happens.
That's right. It's expectations versus reality. Life is all about expectations versus reality. When you set unreasonable expectations, reality doesn't live up, and that's why we have anxiety and depression and all of these other mental health issues. And it's a big, not the only reason, but it's a big part of it. It really is.
Can I just continue? Enough of, I hate talking about, I'm sorry to drag you into that. Tacona Powley in Winnipeg says, Rod, can I fill in on the show when you go on the trip? You don't understand, bro. You see how these are all new people? We do the show from the trip. In Houston, we had Houston Texans alumni. We had Rice Owls coaches. We had Saskatchewan Roughriders greats, coaches.
And then they mingle.
Yeah, and they all hang out with you. That's all part of it. And they told us, wherever you go in America, we'll get you other NFL alum. That's what we do. See you tomorrow for a Football Friday here. What do you think it is? A strip club?